I'm gonna have to stop saying good morning or good afternoon. Because, like, time of day doesn't mean anything anymore. At least for a little while, it won't mean the same thing. Could I say, like, good morning? Good afternoon? Good wimble? I like afternoon. Good afternoon. Uh, I've got the breakfast machine going. I've got, my eggs, which are almost done, a little paprika over it. Smoothie, tea, avocado, fresh avocado. Ooh, bless you. Pineapple from last night, which I need to eat because it's going a little bit brown in places. Got English muffin in there. So, balanced breakfast, I guess. That's not part of my breakfast. I am not one of those, like, moms that drinks wine out of a mug in the morning in front of her kids. Or am I? No, I'm not. Alright, that looks real cute. I messed up one of my extractions, my egg extraction, so I think this one's going to be eaten first, just out of pity. Trivia questions came in! Usually they come in at like 1:30 p.m. my time, which is 6:30 a.m. their time, but I think on Mondays either they allow themselves to sleep in or it takes a little while longer. I don't know, but it came in later. It doesn't matter. Let's dive into it. Number 1, pull out before you blow it. Of course. 6 of the 10 most populous cities in the U.S. are located in California and Texas. Yeah, that tracks. Name the other 4 states that have cities in the top 10 for 1 point each, 0 points total if you get any wrong. Oh no. Okay, so LA and Chicago, for sure. LA's number 2, Chicago's number 3. I feel like Philly is one of them. I don't know what else. What's the one in Ohio? I don't know. I'm not certain on that one. Cleveland? Is that one? I don't think it's top 10. I'm going to stick with LA, Chicago, Philly. That 4th one is going to be totally obvious to me, and I'm going to kick myself. Raleigh? No. Charleston? I don't know. Number 2, Yoshida Kogyo Kabushiki Geisha. That's very sorry for that pronunciation. That was rude. Translated as Yoshida Industries, Inc., is the world's largest manufacturer of what common item, also known as a clasp locker? Zipper, I think. Yeah, because a lot of zippers have, like, YKK printed on them, right? Do I have a zipper available? I don't know. I'll come back to this one. Number 3, what 90s sketch comedy group took its name from comedy legend Sid Caesar's 5-word nickname for his staff of young writers? 90s sketch comedy group. Also, SNL was way before the 90s. They started in, like, 75, I think. What was the one with, like, all the Wayans brothers, Jim Carrey, In Living Color? Okay, so that's not 5 words. Mad TV. I think that started in the 90s, but obviously that's not 5 words. Sketch comedy. What was that Canadian one? With, like, Dave Foley. Kids in the Hall. Kids in the Hall, right? Kids in the Hall? Like, staff of young writers, kids. I'm gonna say Kids in the Hall. The kids. The kids in the hall. Yeah. I feel good about that. Okay, number 4. In 1560, Protestant reformers in Geneva produced a Bible directly from Hebrew and Greek scriptures, which they titled the Geneva Bible. This prompted the Church of England to produce what edition of the Bible, which was released in 1611? I don't know. I'm not a religious historian. Honestly, the only version of the Bible that I know by name is the King James version. Which actually makes sense, because if it's released by the Church of England, King James as a monarch makes sense to have that association. It's as good a guess as any. And then, The Northern California counties of Mendocino, Humboldt, and Trinity are collectively known as the Emerald Triangle. Why does this area have that nickname? I don't know. I don't think there's mining in that part of California anyway. To be fair, I don't know where Mendocino and all that are. What's green? Grapes? They grow green grapes for vineyards? Is that Northern California? Emerald. They've got a thriving precious stone. No, but that's too obvious, isn't it? I don't know. It's a vineyard. The fourth most popular, well, the most populous city that's not in Texas or California is Phoenix, Arizona. Of course. I got the other 3, so that's 3 points. That's cool. I just found a sweater that has a zipper on it, and this may be backwards to you. Maybe it won't. But that totally says YKK on it. That's a zipper. I was right. Booyah. I was also right about the kids in the hall. That's very exciting. I remember my mom getting those DVDs from the library, although I thought they were an 80s sketch group. I thought they started in the 80s. Maybe they continued over into the 90s. I don't know. And I was also right about the King James version, but that was completely by accident. That is not coming from any place of knowledge. And then finally, the Emerald Triangle is called as such because it has a thriving marijuana network or community or something. Which, okay, fine. It's legal in California. That's fine. Cool. So, okay, 3 cities plus zipper plus King James plus kids in the hall. I got 6 out of 6 out of 8. That is 80%. That's a B. Wait. 6 out of 8, 3 out of 4. No, that's 75%. I can't do math. That's 3 out of 4. That's 75%. So that's a C. So that's a C. That's a solid C. That sucks. You only miss 2 questions and you get only half of a passing grade? Oh well, it doesn't matter. I am now going to try to get a little bit more into this mess. I know my bed's not made. I know. I just don't notice it anymore. How about that? Well, I've made a crazy decision. I have decided that the travel stuff, which was in here, is going to relocate to a shelf. Oh my god! Oh my god! Calm down. It'll be fine. See, look. That's fine. That's cute. And I, use my travel stuff a lot more than most of the stuff that's in this pull-out shelf thing. Yes, there's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in the background. Hello, Fitz. So it makes sense to not have it in here. It makes sense to have it easily accessible for the moment when I can start traveling again. Early 2022. It doesn't look any reduced in size, this pile, but I promise I just put a huge box of stuff under. Actually, I can show you. This whole box has got... Oh, let's back up further. Is full. Full of stuff. Light bulbs in there. Stickers in there. Envelopes in there. Dry erase markers in there. It's after 8, but they're still clapping outside. 8:05. Should we go see what they're doing? Oh! Okay. I'll be honest, I'm not sure what that's about. I've never been able to understand what people are chanting, even in English. If there's a chant going on, the only one that I can understand is "we're here, we're queer, get over it," or "get used to it," or whatever the one is. I've never been able to understand them in French, so I'm not sure. I heard police in there. I'm gonna maybe Google, see what that is. If that even is a thing. Well, Google says nothing helpful. Actually, the only results that I got were about the Gilets jaunes, who are not active currently, I think. So, I don't know. I think, I watched back the footage a couple of times, and I saw one of the signs that, one of the guys was carrying a sign that said, Femme confinée, femme en danger, which means women in confinement are women in danger. So maybe it's about domestic violence, but then they were talking about police. Maybe it's police violence. The one plus de masque. No, moins de casque, plus de masque. Moins de casque, plus de masque, which is fewer helmets or potentially head coverings of some kind. More masks. Casque, I think, is police. I think it's against, like, violent measures in any iteration during this confinement. Like, a lot of them were wearing masks. So it wasn't people like what's happening in the US right now who are just, like, denying that this whole situation is happening and demanding that the economy be reopened. I think it's more about stopping police violence. Maybe they're, like, aggressing people who are out and about. Like my friends John and Kevin, they keep getting shout outs in the vlogs. Hey guys! They said a few weeks ago they were out for like a post-dinner walk, you know, to digest. And this was well before any mention of like prohibiting exercise between certain hours. And even in any case, that would have been before. That would have been, this was at like 9:30 or 10 p.m. So like any prohibition of exercising during certain hours wouldn't have been valid in that case as well. And they were stopped by a police officer and told that going for a walk doesn't count as exercise and they had to go home, otherwise they'd get a fine. Which is not the case that anyone has established anywhere else. And then they obviously told us, and I went on a mad Google hunt, and like every other government, local government said like no walking counts as a source of physical exercise. So maybe some police are power tripping, potentially. Luckily, John and Kevin didn't get fined, thank goodness. And then I have seen posts and articles about domestic violence rates going up as in not as a result of as a result of the confinement. And obviously the statistics for that are never going to be accurate because there are so many unreported cases, but like, it's been going up by significant percentiles. I think I saw 8% somewhere, I saw 14% somewhere else, although I don't have the specific numbers off the top of my head, but it's true. There are some bad things going on as a result of this confinement, outside of the economic situations. So, I guess I support them, although I don't love that they're all out together. But how else are you going to make a vote? I don't know. The French, if they have a gripe, they will take to the streets, I guess. Oh, goodness. Well, I feel like I should end with, stay inside, wash your hands, don't touch people, don't get near people, call for help, your local helplines if you're in danger, representatives, if you're in the U.S., get your DA involved, maybe? I'm so uninformed. Inform yourself, but be careful if you're in a situation that is dangerous. I am talking out of my ass. I'm going to stop now. I asked Laurence about the casque, and she confirms that it does mean the police. She said it probably means the riot police. So apparently there are riots happening in certain places. Cleaning job, which I forgot to do until now. I'm gonna work on my bathroom sink. mostly just kind of scrub the porcelain a little bit. Somehow underneath the basin of it, there's just like runoff from, well, let's see if the camera can pick it up. Yeah, you can kind of see it. I'm not exactly sure what caused it. Like maybe drips coming from down the basin and then just kind of griming up or something. I don't think it was going to be hard to take off. It seems like it's just a layer of scum. My fingernail is even scraping it off. So it should come off quite quickly, but I just want to do that. And then I get to have chocolate. Done with the sink, and as a bonus, I washed the dishes, which is why you hear a drip. Drip. And I've decided instead of having a chocolate from the box today, there's only like 3 left, maybe even 2 now, so I could just finish them off. But I kind of wanted to try something different. I wanted to shake it up a little bit. So in my cleaning frenzy, I found these, which is hot chocolate on it. Well, the stick it literally just fell off the stick. So that'll be fun. This. Stabbed it back in. You can see it's got a fair amount of bloom on it, which means that it's a little bit old. And I actually know I got this 2 years ago, I believe, when I was in Belgium. So this is not shareable chocolate. My experience with chocolate is, like, when it blooms like this, it's not very pleasant to eat just on its own, but when it warms up, the bloom kind of disappears and it's fine. So it's more of a textural thing than a flavor thing, I find. So I am heating up some milk for it to go into. It's hazelnut flavored. I have no idea if I'm going to like this. I so rarely do hot chocolate on a stick. And the ones that I've found, or that I've had before, can be dicey a little bit depending on the blend. So if I don't like this, I'll just go and have some Jeff chocolate. But this is an experiment. All right, let's see if I can keep it on the stick long enough to melt it. I think the milk, this might overflow. Oh. Okay. It is just barely. See, look, the bloom's already gone. Oh, goodness. This is definitely too full. I may have to pour into a bigger mug. And now I can't stir it anymore. This might be a disaster. I can still feel it. I can stab it. I just can't agitate. Oh, wait. No, it's all stuck to the bottom. Oh, dear. What have I done? I've switched to a fork to try to melt the rest of the... Oh, that looks really unappetizing. Alright. I'll keep going for posterity's sake, I guess. Okay. This is entirely too full to carry, realistically, without fear of dropping. So, I'm gonna sip it from here. It's not bad. Okay, I like it. Alright, I've gotten it down to the point where I can safely carry it without fear of, well, unless I trip. It's a risk. But I think that's going to be me signing out for the night. So, cheers. Good night.